It's just trodden in the mud. Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the bald explorer, out on another walk, and I'm filming with Martin. Hello, Martin.
Hi there.
And this time we're not going to do a great history walk. We're actually just going to take a leisurely stroll because we're in Sullington, which is very close to Warmington, where we were before.
Warminghurst.
Beg your pardon, Warminghurst. And this time we're just going to take a stroll around a very beautiful and interesting part of the South Downs, at the sort of north of the South Downs, here in West Sussex, because really there's a church, a manor house and a working farm, and it's so delightful, and it looks like they're in the process of getting this ready with a bit of lottery funding to open it to encourage the public to come around and understand how working farms carried it on. And it said on the sign, didn't it? 800 years of history with 6 families.
That's right.
Involved. So let's just first of all show you a bit of the lovely church and the manor house. It's absolutely tranquil. We picked a day in autumn where the weather is nice and being kind to us for once, and the location is just so beautiful. Now look at this. I mean, just have a look at this ancient yew tree. The size of that. Go and stand next to the tree, Martin. The size of this girth. That's it. Pull your stomach in. Not your girth, the tree's girth. I mean,
right.
it's huge, which clearly says that it must be pretty old. Let's wander around to the side because there's more to see. So as we come round the side of this beautiful flint church, this would have been rendered, would it? Do you think?
Most likely, it was the normal case, and then painted white.
It's got a bit of Horsham stone on the roof in the chancel end, and I think earlier you said that possibly the church could have been thatched originally.
To begin with, it may well have been thatched.
And look, more yew trees all over the place. It's surrounded with yew trees. Let's just get that view there. Beautiful, classic Sussex church.
Yes.
You couldn't ask for a better church.
No, it's a good,
honest church.
Yeah, good, interesting church.
Now, we're not going to go inside this one, but actually on the inside, it's been beautifully restored and kept with a lot of modernisation and, beautiful stained glass windows. But we're not going to do that this time because we've done a bit of that. Let's go through this midget's gate, I think. And I don't know what that is on our left.
War Memorial.
Oh, it's the War Memorial. Coming down here, it's interesting that the graveyard, or rather the churchyard, is in 2 bits. You've got the second half of it here. So of course you've got the main players, the most important people, up at the church, and then the rest of the villagers and anybody else. But a nice lich gate to go through. But much more important, much more exciting, and you don't get to see this very often. Come on, Martin, keep up. We're going to come around here. Now, we're not 100% certain whether this is all open or not yet to the public, because it seems to be in the process of some of it's being built, and we spoke to a chap who's doing some restore work. But ahead of us is what is a colossal and whacking great barn, a tithe barn.
That's right.
Tell us about a tithe barn and their uses.
Right, well, tithes were 1/10 of every parishioner's due to the rector or the vicar, and which meant 10% of all produce, be it livestock or growing it. And
so 10% of the farmers and the villagers or whoever was in the area gave their worth to the church.
Yes, the rector or the vicar had to store it somewhere.
Yes.
Until he either used it or sold it to cover his expenses.
I mean, it is huge. It is absolutely colossal.
Yes,
but it's not all for the rector, all for one man, is it?
Well, it's his, but he will use it to support.
That's a
what he
colossal
did.
amount, though.
Yeah.
I mean, huge for one man. He could never get through that. I mean, by the end of the year, he wouldn't have eaten a tenth of it.
No, but what he didn't eat,
Yeah,
or his family and servants didn't eat,
yeah.
he would trade to get other things he needed.
Like
because
what?
the tithing was basically his income.
I see. Yeah, so this paid for everything. So he could, trade for labour to help fix the roof, to have walls built, to have all sorts of things done around the place.
Exactly.
So so he basically wasn't paid in money. He was paid in goods.
That's right. Yes.
Gosh. Well, there you go. And but it still seems to me such a massive, great big barn. Some of these are now these stables in front of us are actually people's houses. They've been converted to tiny little flats. But up there in front, you see the church on the left, and then the manor house, the great important manor house, looking down on everything, checking that everybody's doing what they should be doing. And then on our left, we just spoke to the carpenter in here behind this wagon, who's working on another barn, restoring it for a gallery, I think, and then a cafe, which is fantastic. And then we come back to more or less where we started, with the Tithe Barn behind us.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of idyll, if I can call it that. It is now, because it's quiet and it's still and it's a beautiful day and everything, that you would have found up and down the country in England.
Yeah.
It was the way so many villages spread out in the country worked.
That's right. Yes. I mean, agriculture to feed the people, which weren't just the villagers, but it was then sold to.
But I suppose
feed
I'm
the
saying
city.
overviewed by the manor house.
Yes.
And then the church taking their tithe. And just before we go, just stop here, have a look at this. In these very old barns, look at these old tractors. Look at that. And here another one. Poking our camera where we're probably not supposed to. And then just up there, a more modern one. And of course, Martin's orange car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has just been a very vague and very simple walk around the farm, the working farm at Sullington.
Yes.
With Martin and I, we just thought we'd do something a little bit different, just a very sort of relaxing one, with the beautiful South Down Hills behind us, or to the side of us, with beautiful fluffy clouds. So they are, what can I say? But thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Martin, for bringing me here. It's been
my pleasure.
This is I just overwhelmed. You may have got that sense, slightly overwhelmed by the beauty and the loveliness of it. And we'll just finish off with a look of the back of the manor house and that terrific yew tree behind us. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.